Ene lawyer Martin Kpebu ababe shocky Godfred dame with a leaked tape bia nensaka anase on komobia on any di ye wokokwem abusua Godfred dame nanse mo oba be defende NPP criminal appointees ema ye ba be breaki edimam say lawyer Martin Kpebu oba first day asem no ekoso na hona na lawyer Martin Kpebu cancel nene lawyer Martin Kpebu ohwe ba bi asem na ekona Godfred dame oya ye Godfred dame eho ene puli eye lawyer Martin Kpebu emane de tape bi eba abonti a oche se Godfred dame kwa ne dim komo bi wokokwam bi a eye case bi a na ekoso saa case no Godfred dame ehye da de nipa no eka case no na nipa no onye at fault ene Godfred dame enya no epese oppress eye attorney general Dominic Ayini oppressing the neck oka ensem bi efa ne ho asa ensem no enim all because of say a former buffer stock CEO ne arrest on an area na arrested no Godfred dame ebeka said there is some abuse of prosecutorial powers bi a omode hante NPP criminal appointees no nene lawyer Martin Kpebu achre say adwuma na oye no edema no momi yanko na yanko kuti ensema lawyer Martin Kpebu editu da unsubscribe ya subscribe na hit on the notification bell so that any update be able drop no onsa ebetumi akabi medamase.
And who says it won't happen again when there's another government? So we have a prosecutorial system which is too politicized, and that's why you see the things you are saying. It's quite unfortunate.
Well, Martin Kpebu, on this, and especially because of what the Attorney General has indicated being the reason for what we've seen in the decision to drop the charges. I mean, whatever has been found must be compelling enough to want to warrant a development like this, is it not?
Absolutely. I like how you've ended the question. Whatever has been found must be compelling enough to cause the withdrawal of the charges. And when we say withdrawal here, listeners and viewers, we are not using the technical term withdrawal. For us lawyers, when we say withdrawal, they will not re-arrest Anan and the wife.
On the same charge?
Yes. When it's withdrawal, you can't come back like this. So, but we are using it as an ordinary English word. Okay, so the lawyers, let's do what I always say effective communication. Yes. So let's go on. So for effective communication, withdrawal. Now, it speaks, the matter speaks for itself. And you see, in matters like this, I always say that you look at the track record of the person in the saddle. Ayini is one who so far has acquitted himself creditably as against the man crying wolf. Godfred dame was here. We caught him on tape, the Jackpot tape, where he shamelessly admitted that Oforiata and Addo were pressing him to use the state machinery to prosecute opponents so that there will be a by-election in Addo Forson's constituency. Abdallah, please, you are here. Can you play the tape? Godfred dame said Oforiata, who is now absconded. You see how nature works? Oforiata is absconded. He's fled with his tail between his legs, not willing to come to Ghana. You see? That is the thing Oforiata and Addo were doing, using Godfred dame as their errand boy to use the state machinery to prosecute political opponents, a political vendetta. So when a man who has furthered such interests, you didn't believe in any, you didn't believe in Addo Forson's wrongdoing, you didn't believe that Addo Forson had done anything wrong, but because of Oforiata and Addo were pressing you, you went on and prosecuted, and now you got your reputation bent beyond this recovery, because the tape will always be there. We'll play it. The internet doesn't forget. It's his own voice. The learned trial judge, let's say Fiasewa Saribuchi, admitted the tape. It's authentic. So you see, Godfred dame should learn one thing. He is not the man to speak on this matter. You see, sometimes people forget. You always need the right messenger for strategy. Godfred dame is the worst person to speak on this matter because we are not done. After he himself was caught on the Addo Forson tape, Addo Forson and Japan tape, right? Admitting to such unethical conduct. And you see that eventually the matter was thrown out in the Court of Appeal. And when Dr. Ayini came, he said, no. Such unethical conduct, we don't accept at the bar. you heard Kofi Benton say, a prosecutor, okay, that's the work, okay, is a minister of God. You are not supposed to prosecute for political vendetta. No, you prosecute only when the facts show that there is a crime. But in the tape, Godfred himself was not convinced there was a crime, and yet he kept going on. So, look, Aludiba, this Abdul Hanan Aludiba, it should be advised that for PR purposes, Godfred is not a good person to do this thing. Because, you see, it's bringing up memories. We are going to Afoku. Was Godfred not here? Afoku's case, 2 legs. 1, they prosecuted the case to the end. We're just left with judgment. Then they saw that they were about to lose. The evidence wasn't good. What did they do? They canceled the case. That's in technical terms. They entered the nolle prosequi and restarted. The
all
case,
over again.
Yeah, restarted all over. Of course, today, you see, eventually the second trial today couldn't convict Afoku. All right? The matter went to the Supreme Court. Long story short, the Supreme Court held that there wasn't evidence. You know, they wanted to declare unconstitutionality, etc. The Supreme Court said no such, they couldn't declare it unconstitutional like that. And that in future, if you find evidence of abuse of the prosecutorial power, like how we caught Godfred Dami on the Japa and Atufossin tape, go to the High Court, etc. But long story short, they did a retrial, and that one too, what happened? They couldn't prosecute Greg. Godfred Dami was what? Deputy Attorney General at the time, and later became Attorney General. So, superintending the re-prosecution. You leave that Afoko was granted bail. He, Godfred Dami, does he know about human rights? Afoko was granted bail. What machinations? They went back and ensured that the bail was revoked. If we hadn't had a change in government, the same facts, so you see how Ayeni, being human rights centered, when Afoko applied for bail this time, I said, no, I'm not interested. Admit Afoko to bail.
Within the
and
week,
that's it.
he had to
I'm
speak
not
to
done.
that. This was, sorry.
Oh, no, you can, maybe the question was strengthened.
He was asked this question about his position on the Gregory Afoko case. He says, you cannot equate, and this is Godfred Dami,
I heard
you
him.
cannot equate a case of murder in the Gregory Afoko case, or alleged murder for that matter, to what is happening in the Hanan case.
Yeah, I heard him.
That the two are two different cases that cannot be juxtaposed to each other to want to now question why he is raising concerns about the abuse of the prosecutorial process by this current Attorney General.
Yeah.
Why would you want to do that?
I heard it, and I was gobsmacked. I was totally gobsmacked because I was like, what is this? Haven't we all admitted that when there is looting of public funds, the money, the alleged looting of the public funds by Hanan, hospitals without beds, no bed syndrome. You know how many people have died? Didn't Emisa die? An engineer, didn't he die? Because there were no hospital, there was no bed syndrome. You know how many people die? We've accepted in our public discourse, in our debates, that when you loot government funds, what you do is that you reduce hospital beds, you reduce roads, you reduce water quality, you reduce all the public goods that the government provides. So when I heard it, I was like, you see, I mean, it was, that's the most ridiculous argument I've ever heard. So simply, Hanan's alleged looting of our public funds is what is contributing to the no-bed syndrome. That is what is contributing to the ambulances not getting fuel.
You were linking it to that?
Yes. But that money, if it was in the public funds, you know how many more hospital beds we would have provided. You know how many more millions of gallons of fuel we would have provided, etc. So that's not an argument to start with at all. And I heard it was so ridiculous. As I see, when you must talk at all costs, that's what you end up doing. You make arguments that don't add up. Arguments that don't go, they don't even improve your case at all. If anything, they rather make the case worse. So we're on the trajectory. So look, viewers, you know, we come to sit here, we want a better society. But you see, as I said, on the occasion where you choose the wrong messenger to carry the message, it's also good that we remind that messenger his bad record. His bad record. So I was on the Afoko one, right? Come to ACP Dr. Agojo. Godfred Dami told me personally, and my luck is that Agojo was standing. Oh, now Agojo is DCOP. Yeah, later he got a promotion to DCOP, that's Deputy Commissioner of Police, all right? When Godfred Dami told me that he just added Agojo to the treason trial to make it weighty. I'm telling you, I have no incentive to lie. Agojo was standing behind me on that Saturday. That Saturday when we had to do the retrial. So that one to involve the retrial. So this what happened. The Agojo case, they started with treason felony. The value is the same because the treason felony at the time, we hadn't changed the law. So it would have resulted in a death penalty. This current high treason, also death penalty. So when they did the treason, they started with the treason felony. That one involves using a jury. So meaning that when all the evidence has been led, at the end of it is the jury that will determine whether the accused are guilty or not. Of course, before they say guilty or not, the judge will direct them how to go about it, right? So it was clear to us as defense counsel that when Godfred saw the composition of the jury, he wasn't confident that they will return a guilty verdict. So a few months down the line, they stopped the treason felony trial. They stopped it. They canceled it. So one hot afternoon, very close to Easter, Friday, then they said we should come in. They are calling our clients to BNI. We went there and they were rearrested. Godfred Dame was in charge. The Agojo and Co. One hot Friday afternoon. Oh, we're deceived. So our clients will say, let's go. They say, hey, you are going to BNI on a Friday afternoon. But we're told that, oh, it's nothing. We went there and they were rearrested. Look, thank God, because of Kpebu number 4, quickly, I ran to the office, did a letter, and rushed to the Chief Justice. Thank God for Eni Yebua. He looked at it because of Kpebu number 4. Eni Yebua empaneled the court to sit on Saturday, the next day, and then they were admitted to bail. So when Dami saw that, no, Kpebu number 4 is working at the trial.
So you say Kpebu number 4, you say just for the purpose of education, it is your case?
Yes. So I went to court. That's the 4th case. Martin Kpebu number 4 versus Attorney General number 4. So the law previously, there was a contention that if police, BNI, others arrested a person and then it ran into the weekend, they say, but a lawyer, you know, courts don't sit on weekends. So when they are counting the 48 hours, they would exclude the weekends, public holidays, etc. So when we went to court, the Supreme Court, that's Sophia Kufu's valedictory judgment. That's the last judgment she did to retire from the Supreme Court. Perfect. So the Supreme Court held that when you are counting 48 hours, it includes weekends, public holidays, even days that the courts are locked. So when the courts are locked, you look for the Chief Justice, of course, the registrar. Then he will seek clearance from Chief Justice. And they will let you go to a judge's, to see a judge, any other public place. If it doesn't work, in extreme cases, to the home of the judge. So that's our law, right? So that was what saved us. Don't go for Dami, because they attend Friday afternoon. Just got them locked up. If I hadn't applied the application to get the court to sit on that Saturday, it wasn't Godfred Dame, it was me. I applied. We went and sat down there, and it was Kpebu number 4 they were using. So why is Godfred Dame's credit in that?
So Lawyer Kofi Bento ended on some reforms to be able to address this situation where it then leads to the realms of abuse.
Yes.
That's why I want us to go into.
It's useful, and you see, we are on Kpebu number 4. So
forgive me.
The onus should not be on the individual. He had to run to the Chief Justice to empanel on the weekend. As far as I am concerned, that's why I said I don't agree with some of those principles.
Yes.
If you arrest somebody and 40 of us, you have to make sure. That is how I think it should have gone. You have to make sure that within that space you do, or release the person. The weight of the state is immense. And when you are arrayed against one person, it's just unjust on the surface. But hopefully we'll get there.
Dr. Zato, okay, go on this.
Okay. I thought you were going to, let the lawyers talk. I'm the only lawyer here, so
okay.
I didn't mind. No, don't worry. I will go ahead.
There's a reason why.
When they arrested Hanan, when he was charged, I was here. I came for this show here, and I remember, or I know what food or the lack of food did to the MPP in 2024. Almost everything. Everybody will say franchise is good, but the food quality, the food quantity, parents were literally carrying food to people. Availability or the lack of food became one of the biggest political albatrosses around the neck of the MPP and contributed significantly to the massive loss. Then later, they started revealing these things. It became like, why would one man sit wherever he is in charge of food and then allow his political party to suffer the thing? I joined the chorus in condemning Hanan without even knowing what is happening. I was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. what is happening today reveals to me that Hanan became part of a game, a political game, to appease the oral foot soldiers of the NDC. His name was thrown there, and these atrocious allegations were thrown there into the sharks. Because I refuse to believe that after one full year of prosecution,
almost,
an attorney general immediately say, hey, I found something so damning that I would throw what I want to be. That's what I'm saying. I wanted to hear the lawyers. I'm not a lawyer. Maybe a lawyer would tell me. Again, Mr. Kofi said it. No. Everything he did is legal.
Oh, yes,
so I'm not questioning the legality of it. But I'm saying that as an lawyer, we can sit and we can also watch and then ask ourselves, what due diligence was done? A man and a woman went through this, left their young children at home. What due diligence was done? The treatment so far by this attorney general on this guy is inhumane. If you ask, they will tell you similar things that happened in the past. I'm sure Hamza can say it. People, all of them can say it. Does that make it right? Does that make it right? Because again, the man is here. Treat him. And somebody was once making a point. When you see things like this, then you begin to ask yourselves, why? Is it vendetta? Is it to please the gods of oral? That after so long, that is the first thing I want to say. How unfair it is. And I sat there and said, oral are told in swim. And I still stand by it. The oral has told in swim because you don't go on an oral, something that you promised so bad for over a year, and then come all of a sudden and drop the case. For me, something stink and something's not fair. Two, what we are saying is what we call the abuse of the nolle prosequor. Once again, I sat here and I said it. Yeah. The first, I was saying it from a financial perspective, that you have an attorney general deputy who have fly down the toilet billions of cedis. Yeah. And then, meanwhile, they are chasing other billions of cedis. And then I asked myself, why? Why couldn't you keep both prosecutions? Maybe you would have gotten, let's say, 1 billion from the people that were being prosecuted here, then you get another billion from what you are prosecuting. Wouldn't that reach? How much did the oral say they were going to get? How much did you guys say you were going to get, Kpebu?
No, it's not official.
How much did you guys say you were going to get? It's a simple question. But how much was it? How much was it?
It's not an official
But how much was it? Okay,
no,
that's my point.
It's not an official
I'm saying that, assuming you have collected from the men and women who were being charged and the NDC officials, and then also collected from this one, you would have at least gotten your money. You didn't do that. That's the abuse. That was the financial argument of the abuse of nolle prosequor I was making. But now it's a human rights. You just mentioned it. They used nolle prosequor on Afoko. It was wrong. It was unfair. It was unjust. He suffered for it. Somebody, an attorney general citizen, were weaponized nolle prosequor against Gregory Afoko and his human rights. It's not a human being. Why? Then we condemned it. Today, another attorney general is doing the same thing. Today, another attorney general the same. So my point is that why is it that these same lawyers, people that we've paid so much money to protect us, are the same people using the same laws against human beings, defenseless human beings?
Politics. This one, the Hanan and Co are on bail. I'm making a
point. The same nolle prosequor is used to punish both of them. That's the argument I'm making. I said I wanted to hear the lawyers, but I'm making a case based on policy and based on policy. That this is the same thing that's happening. And for me, it's worrying. It's worrying because he just made a point. When you are arrested by the state, you are defenseless, you're helpless. You're coming against the whole might and power of the state. And to have the state do this to you for over 1 year and do it. So I call it the abuse of the nolle prosequor. So that abuse of the nolle prosequor comes in two forms. One, you're going to be under financial abuse where you reward your political friends and say, we will not prosecute you, go. Or it can be what? They use what? To punish people we perceive our political opponents we don't like it. Number three, there's something. I'm a good fan of Law and Order. The show, you know that show, Law and Order. You are arrested, you are under arrest. You have a right required, you have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the state can give you. That right to attorney is part of the Miranda rights. That is also being strongly abused today. I heard you, Kpebu, sitting on there talking about the fact that you have a client who stayed in jail for almost 3 weeks without access to you, your lawyer. The same thing is happening today. Why?
The Iyoko is denying it. They say they are denying it.
Masa, I'm telling you, why are we doing that today? Why is it that today you see, I don't want you to see when you justify some of this is like coming from powerful state here, it's hard because you are providing either legal or public ground for them to continue to do it. Just condemn it.
Oh.
Just condemn it. You complain big about what happened. I'm saying factual based on what?
I came here to complain about
his lawyer said Hanan lawyer said that he wasn't giving. They were not there. That's what they said.
The Attorney General has come.
Attorney General said the lawyers. I'm saying that there are two. So now there are two versions. There are two versions there. There are two versions there. The lawyer said we were not given a chance. They were not there. Attorney General says they were there. In your case, it's true that you were not given, right? So let's go by your case. Why? So let's forget about Hanan. Let's come to you. Why is it that a non-human rights lawyer like you will have a client who will sit in jail for almost 3 weeks without access to him?